What up, YouTube? This your boy Atruckernamedjay checking in, man. We just literally finished the video about my boring YouTube channel. So now we're gonna do what that video was supposed to be about, which is the Cpap. This is gonna be real quick, man. The Cpap is nothing to be afraid of. It's just that simple. I see different YouTube channels speak on the Cpap. I see different people on different social media platforms speak on the Cpap as if it's this thing that's trying to get you out of trucking, like almost as like ELDs or, you know, the DOT physical, which I have my own theories about the DOT physical and my own theories about, you know, the higher ups and all that, but that's not for a public opinion. That's just for me to keep to myself. You know what I'm saying? But as far as the Cpap, I can honestly say, as someone who has a Cpap, again, this is what I talked about, stop looking for advice from people who don't do what you're trying to do. So if you're asking someone about a Cpap who's never had to get a Cpap, never had to deal with the process, that information 9 times out of 10 is incorrect. So as someone who has a Cpap and has been on a Cpap for quite some time now, allow me to explain how the process works. You go to do your DOT physical, and they it's a bunch of stuff that they do. They measure your neck. They ask you if you snore in your sleep. They ask you if you wake up at night. And it's easy to say no to these answers, but take it from me. If you do, be honest, because at the end of the day, this money that we making in trucking is not worth cheating your health and lying about symptoms that could possibly be sleep apnea that can kill you in your sleep 5 years from now is not worth the $2,000-$3,000 you about to make a week. $2,000-$3,000 is not worth your life. It's not worth my life. You know what I mean? Not for everybody out here in trucking who you know what I'm saying, chasing every penny and every dollar, every negotiation with every broker. It may be worth it to them, but to me, that shit just not fucking worth it. I just refuse to cheat my health any longer. I've been cheating my health all my life, and you see where it's gotten me. You know what I mean? So they're gonna ask you those questions. You're gonna answer them truthfully. Sidebar, if you go in there overweight, 9 times out of 10, they're going to try to tell you got sleep apnea. I'm just being 100% honest with you. If you are an overweight person, if you have a lot of fat and thickness around your neck, this is not jokes, this is just being 100, they're going to try to tell you you have sleep apnea. And 9 times out of 10, you probably do. Just being honest, okay? If you are snoring like a fucking train horn in your sleep, you probably have sleep apnea. I'm just going to be 100. So, at this point, when they get these symptoms or questions answered, at that point, they're probably going to tell you it is our recommendation that you go do what is called a sleep study. Sleep study is very simple, depending on how your situation is, how your insurance is set up. I can't go into details about how you do it with insurance because I did it with cash. So what happened with me was they said, okay, look, here, we're going to give you this. I think they gave me I can't remember if they gave me a 30-day. I think they gave me a 90-day. It depends on the doctor. Some doctors will give you 30 days to get all this shit done. That's how serious it is. Some will give you a 3-month card, 90-day card. That's a little bit more realistic. But if they give you a 30-day card, get the sleep study, get that shit scheduled ASAP. Because it's not something where you just gonna always just walk in. Again, depending on your insurance or if you're paying cash. You know, my shit went a little bit quicker because I paid cash. You know how that go. But it's not something that is guaranteed to be taken care of just like that. You may not be able to get an appointment for 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? So if you get a 30-day card, get on it. If you got a 90-day card, get on it, but you still got a little itty-bitty, teeny-weeny cushion. Okay? So, after... Hold on, they doing construction on my road? You pointing down there. That's where I live, fam. What you talking about? The fuck? Anyways, what was I about to say? Oh, yeah, so they're going to give you, they're going to tell you to go get a sleep study. Okay, you're going to go get the sleep study done. When you go get the sleep study, there's 2 different ways that you can do it. You can do an at-home one, or you can do one where I think you stay overnight at the hospital or at the facility that they do the sleep studies at. Okay? So with me, they gave me the overnight one. I can't remember how much I paid for it. I'm sorry. I know that's very important information, but I cannot think off the top of my head how much. Maybe I'll ask my wife when I get in the house here how much I paid for that. Give me 1 second. I'm backing into my driveway. I think it was like 100 and something, man. Maybe not. I can't remember, man. But if you have insurance, 9 times out of 10, you probably won't even have to pay anyways. But I took it and I took it home. It was a 24-hour, overnight sleep study. So basically, what happened was I took it, I put it. It was like a thing right here. If I got the picture in my still on my Instagram, I'll post it. But I put the thing right here, and then I had the things that go on my nose, little clear thing. Put that on, slept with it overnight. I wasn't supposed to sleep on my back. Can't sleep on. You have to. I wasn't supposed to sleep on my stomach, not on my side. I had to sleep on my back. So okay, cool. Slept on my back. Took it back the next day, and I want to say the next day after that. No, I'm lying. I think it took like 2 or 3 days. Gosh, this was longer ago than that. I think this was like a year ago for me. But if I'm not mistaken, I think it took 2-3 days, and they gave me a call. They said, "Hey, you have sleep apnea, but it's not severe. You wake up." I want to say they say you wake up. I woke up 15 times an hour. That's just crazy. But so yeah, they said you wake up 15 times an hour, and you need to get a machine. So then what happens is, now you're thinking, oh shit, where am I gonna find a machine? This, that, and the third. The 9 times out of 10, the sleep study people help you with that. They give you the assistance. They tell you where to go. Now, when you go to the medical facility or the medical place that has the Cpap machines, as far as price, because I've heard people say shit like they've paid, or they've heard Cpaps are like $2,000 or $1,500, $1,600. None of that shit is, you know what I mean? For me, it wasn't. For me. I think the Cpap that I got, and when I go in the house, it's gonna be a part 2 of this video, where I'm gonna actually go over and look and show you the actual Cpap, and just go around it and just show you how I use it, and we're gonna do a whole part 2 video to that, because this video will probably take like 20 minutes. So instead of breaking it up, I'm taking D-Rod's advice. I'm gonna do 2 videos. Shout out D-Rod's, Trucker Brown, all y'all, for y'all little gems on YouTube. We're gonna make a part 2 about this. So maybe, again, this might be boring content to some, but to some people, they really need to hear this shit, because this is a difference between them no longer being able to support their family via as a truck driver and being able to continue on with their career with no hiccups. But to make a long story less long, I think I paid maybe like $550 for mine. Again, I paid cash. Now, with your insurance, it depends on your insurance. It may be a different process, but I just cashed out, and I was able to get a used one. Now, when they say a used one, I'm sorry, my lips chapped. Oh, I apologize, man. I'm on this water fast, and I be kind of dehydrated. But when they give you a used Cpap, the actual machine is used, but the masks are new. So for those who may think that, you got some people who are so unintelligent and aren't able to think with common sense. Common sense is uncommon these days. They'll think that the mask will be used. No, the mask is brand new. The actual machine will be used. And it's really not a big difference. It really isn't, between the machine being used and new. Some people just don't like using used shit. I don't mind it. I've had mine now for about a year, and it works wonders. I can't even think of the model that I have. But again, on part 2, I'll explain the model and how it works, and I'll even show you how I can keep track of my my sleep study, if you will, on my phone. And not the sleep, but the Cpap. It's an app that goes with it. But that's pretty much the process in getting a Cpap. Altogether, I would say if you're gonna pay cash, you probably will spend anywhere from $500 to $800 total. That's it. It's not a crazy expensive thing, especially because of how frequently they're selling now. They probably were more expensive when this whole sleep study shit first came along in trucking, so people were rarely getting them. So they probably, how that shit go with the businesses. If they're not selling a lot of them, they're gonna jack the price up. But now it's almost like, damn, I think they say 1 in 3 truck drivers have sleep apnea. You know what I'm saying? And so with so many truck drivers with it, they not selling them for that high. Trust me, because they know, one, truck drivers got money, but they don't want to hit them in the head. So, but that's pretty much the process that I went through in getting the CPAP. Not too crazy of a process. Not too. It wasn't inconvenient or anything like that. I think altogether it took me about three and a half weeks to go through everything. That's because I had to schedule an appointment. That's what I forgot to say. When you go get the CPAP, depending on when you get the CPAP from, you have to set an appointment to get the CPAP, and you have to wait for the sleep study facility to send the information to the CPAP people. You know what I'm saying? Because they're two separate entities, even though they're working together. But and sometimes that is what can take a long time, because you're like, hey, did you fax it over? Did you fax it over? Did you fax it over? And the only other thing about a CPAP that I'll tell in this video is, once you get your CPAP and you start to use it, you have to use, I want to say 70, I can't remember, 70 or 75%. You have to, 70 to 75%, you have to use it for at least 4 hours a night. 4 hours a night. And they can track it. If you are a DOT driver, DOT regulated driver, and you go to try to get your physical, and you send them and you bring paperwork showing that you only use your shit 65% of the time, they will not give you a DOT physical. They will not. And you will not be able to make any money, because they are not going to license you. They're not going to pass you. I'm just being 100. So take it serious, but don't be afraid. The CPAP is nothing to be afraid of. Just another, I mean, it's some bullshit when you really look at the big picture, but it is one of the things that I think that they got right, because I definitely noticed a difference, and we're going to talk about that in part 2. So look out for part 2 of Don't Be Afraid of the CPAP machine and trucking. And I appreciate you watching the video, man. As always, stay safe, stay positive, stay productive. God Family Trucking, we gone.